I'm going to find out, though, for sure. I'm going up to, I got to go speak to Sheriff Bowles.
Okay.
Now, on that part about the tape from our dispatcher's office,
Yes.
Bowles was a sergeant or lieutenant, I think he was a sergeant in charge.
Yes,
up there, and he's now sheriff of Dallas County, but he wouldn't have access to the tape.
Okay.
He could probably go to somebody in the city government and get them to make him a copy of them, unless he happened to have made him a copy while he was up there in charge of the dispatching office.
Okay.
But it wouldn't hurt to call him. He'll talk to you.
Okay. That's all right.
He's Sheriff J.C. Bowles.
Okay.
B-O-W-L-E-S. He's sheriff of Dallas County.
Okay.
One of the biggest counties around here.
Yes, yes.
Let me see. There was another one you asked about. That bullet, that shell that Sergeant Hill picked up.
Yes, what happened to it?
I don't have any idea where it is, what he did with it. I think he threw it away right there at the scene after he found out it had no connection with the killing of Tippit. I don't know that to be a fact. You'd have to find out from him. He's now he's now a deputy constable up there in Precinct 7 here in Dallas, out on Bexley Street.
Okay.
It's a Precinct 7 constable, and he's the deputy constable working for him.
Okay.
He's retired at the city, and he's a deputy constable.
Okay.
But now he's the only one that can tell you what he did with that shell. Inasmuch as it was insignificant, it had nothing to do with any of the matters there. I imagine he threw it away, but he can tell you what he did with it.
Okay.
But you have to I don't have any idea about that. If I get to see him, I'll ask him.
Yes,
I run into him one day over there. I was making an investigation over in the county there. And I come to the courthouse there, the sub-courthouse, and he was walking through, and we talked a little while, but I didn't have any, I hadn't heard from you about that you were interested in that shell at that time, so I didn't say anything about it. But, and I don't see him very often. But it was all I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
How some people are. Some policemen and people are saying they want to, especially we had a lot of people like to get on the radio and talk a whole lot. Want to get on there real quick and say things. I don't know why. Maybe it's just something wrong about them that they like to do that, to be important, but he was the kind of guy to me that always jumped on the radio and said something before he even had anything to back up what he was saying. And I can go along, I bet you I can take you to a lot of places right here in Dallas or anywhere in the alleys and find all kinds of shells, because automatic weapons, they throw the shell out. It bounces out. Wherever a guy shoots an automatic, you're going to find the shells. They don't stop and pick them up. And there's automatic fired around Dallas lots of times. Like on 4th of July, New Year's Eve, people get out and shoot them up in the air. And the police try their best to keep them from doing that. People have been killed like that. But they do it. Then it's tradition in this country. They do it all over the United States, especially on New Year's Eve, times like that.
Yes, yes.
Now we had a girl when I worked there, a little young child was playing in her yard, and a bullet hit her and killed her. And the medical examiner examined it. He said the bullet came from straight up in the air. In other words, it was on a downfall. Some guy went out and fired a weapon in the air. The bullet returned and struck this little small child. She was real small, or if been a grown person, something like that, it would just probably bruised them or made a small wound, but killed that little girl.
Okay.
And they preached to the people, please don't go out and shoot weapons on these nights to celebrate. See, we even got an ordinance against shooting fireworks, firecrackers. Can't even do that anywhere in Dallas County. And so people go out of the county and fire fireworks out in the country. They buy them. We got roadside stands up and down the highways, the interstates, selling fireworks. They buy one, get one free on just, firecrackers, we call them. And that's illegal in Dallas County, but they ask them not to shoot weapons up in the air, but they do it. And of course, over in that area where Tippit was killed, I imagine there's a lot of people shoot automatic weapons around there and just maybe just shoot at a sign or a street or something, get them out half drunk, shoot at a street sign or a tree. But it's illegal to fire a weapon in the city limits of Dallas. But you find these shells all the time lying around. They have to come from an automatic weapon. A revolver, if a guy shoots it, the bullet, the shell stays in the revolver, And the only way when he shoots all six of them, he takes them out and dumps them out somewhere. But we quite often find automatic shells laying around different places. And I don't think at the time that Gary knew what the heck, whether that shell had anything to do with it or not. I feel like we ought to check it out before we put out a bunch of talk on the radio. And I've seen that happen lots of times. Guys want to be the first one to get on the radio and say something, because I don't know why they do it.
Yes.
It's been done all my career.
Okay.
But let's see. You had another question there.
Yes, about the hole in the windshield of the limousine.
Yeah, well, that's true. There was a hole in the windshield. It was a hole. I don't have any idea who all else saw it besides Freeman. Freeman and I saw it, and he did a lot of talking, He could have gone around there and told everybody about it. I don't know. But at that time, he and I were the only ones that knew there was a hole in the windshield. At least we were the only one there looking at it. And there happened to be a Secret Service agent close by, I guess within 5 or 6 feet of us. And I showed Freeman this hole in the windshield. And I told him, I said, look at here, see where the bullet went through here, and that Secret Service agent spoke up. But that's just a fragment.
But why did they say that it? Why did they say that it was?
Know.
Why?
I don't have any idea. You'd have to talk to him, and I don't remember who he was.
No.
But it was definitely a hole through the windshield. You could stick a pencil through it. But it could have been one shot that hit the street out there behind me. I mean, I think the first shot either missed Kennedy altogether, going over his right shoulder, coming downward, or else just barely nicked him in the right side of his neck, because it didn't affect him any, except that he turned around and looked up at the top of that tree where the shot came from, right out of that building. Then the next one hit him in the right shoulder blade, going in a downward angle. And I contend that that's the one that got into Governor Connolly's leg. And of course, we know where the third one hit. Had 4 witnesses, 4 motorcycle officers right there close enough to see his head explode.
In the head.
And know exactly where the bullet hit him and what direction it came from and everything. Well, I don't have them now. 2 of them, let's see.
Did you know Roesco White? Policeman Roesco White.
Who?
Roesco. Roesco White.
Roesco White.
Yes, White.
That Roesco White was a patrolman in the patrol division,
Mm-hmm.
and he was assigned to a district way out north of downtown Dallas, as far as you can get. One of the last districts we got on the map.
Okay.
And we know where he was when the shooting took place. We can verify that. He had nothing to do with it. His son said he's going to make $1 million by telling
Yes.
the story.
Yes.
He's going to get a movie made of it and all this, and he probably will, because people will buy anything. Well, anyway, Roesco White could not have had anything to do with the shooting of the president. We know where he was at the time it happened.
Oh.
But that's one of the stories that the boy claims his daddy, Roesco White, son, said my daddy killed Kennedy, which is a big lie.
Yes. Yes, I believe too.
Roesco White, he said, was a CIA agent, and that's another damn lie. He never was a CIA agent. He was a Dallas policeman. The only police work he ever did was with the Dallas Police Department and patrol.
Okay.
Out there in northwest Dallas.
I have a last question.
And this number 2 man in command of the book depository operations is named Molino. He's a Cuban. And it's my understanding he was one in favor of Castro. You know, and he approved of what Castro was doing.
Yes.
You can probably find out about that too. And he's the one that hired Oswald to go to work at the book depository for $35 a week. Now Oswald was able to pay a house rent in Irving where he kept his wife and kids, one apartment. He had another apartment over here on Beckley and Zang. And he did all that, and he flew to Mexico a couple of times, and flew here and flew to west. And he did all that on $35 a week. You know, that's utterly impossible.
It's possible. So he was working for the FBI?
I don't know. He was downtown Dallas, putting out circulars, you know, advertising a little piece of paper about Castro, in favor of Castro. And one of our sergeants stopped him downtown because it's a violation of law to put out them things downtown or anywhere else in the city limits. And he arrested him and made a case against him, cited him to court. And then this sergeant reported to our intelligence lieutenant, who in turn called the FBI and reported it to them. After this, our intelligence department called the FBI. They sent Hosty out there and interviewed him 3 times. So he said that we didn't tell him, but that's not true.
It's not true. We talked about Jack Ruby getting in the basement of the City Hall to kill Oswald. You said that a sergeant told you that he came with a TV crew, and is that correct?
Beg pardon, I didn't catch that part. What did you say now?
Okay, when Jack Ruby got in the basement of the City Hall of the jail to kill Oswald. Okay.
Well, I told you how he got in. I've
Yes.
already told you about that.
But it was the name of the sergeant. You did
I
not.
have no idea who was on that specific spot at that time. There was several sergeants assigned there with their men.
You said that he was.
I don't know which one it was that encountered Ruby going down there, but Ruby went down as a member of the camera crew for the news media.
You said that the sergeant was a deputy chief of police, and
You told me it was Sergeant Vaughn, and I said it could be.
no. It was the sergeant who told you how he got there. You said that it was a sergeant who told you about that.
Yeah, I think it's one of the sergeants, I believe, the one that He was Chief
Yes.
Wright's son-in-law. He's not living anymore. He had a car wreck, killed himself. He got over that and died of cancer.
What's his name?
I can't remember his name now. Let's see.
Oh, it's not Patrick Dean.
Beg pardon?
Patrick Dean.
Dean. That's it. P.T. Dean. There you are. Patrick did his part. P.T. Dean.
But he's not the one who let Ruby getting there.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
I'm not sure of that. He was one of them, and he had a crew of men down there working.
Oh. Okay.
But it could have been him. Sergeant Vaughn was there, and Dean was there. I don't know who the other sergeants were.
Mm. But you're sure that it's not Vaughn who let Ruby getting there?
I'm not sure which one it was.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But you could talk to Vaughn, and he'll tell you if it was him. He'll tell you in a minute.
No.
He won't try to...
No. He said that it was not him.
No, I don't know for sure who it was.
Mm.
But you can... Sergeant Vaughn, I don't know, he's with the police department in Middle Ocean or someplace now.
Mm.
I believe he's the chief of police in Middle Ocean or one of those towns around there. Little small town just at the edge of Dallas.
Okay, and can you give me some more?
I heard that, like I told you, it was hearsay that Ruby went in with a camera crew, and it was very possible. It sure could happen, but we had orders. The cameraman comes down there from the news meeting and said, I'm the cameraman for so-and-so. He said, this is my crew, this one, this, and this, and this is my crew. Don't stop them, let them go on in.
Okay.
And like I told you, the city manager and the mayor told us not to move Oswald in secrecy at 2 o'clock in the morning. They said, no, you will notify the news media so they can be in the basement with their lights and cameras set up before you move.
Yeah.
That's what Chief Curry told me himself. Because he had already told me he wanted me and Cheney to come down about 2 o'clock in the morning. We was going to move Oswald to the county jail without anybody knowing about it.
But someone called the police to say that he would kill Oswald, and Chief Curry did not tell the city manager about that.
I don't recall Ruby. You say Ruby called the police?
Or someone called.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know about that. I don't know how anybody would know what he was going to do. He was pretty much a underworld outfit. He wouldn't tell anybody what he was fixing to do.
But about...
He come to Dallas and Chicago. He was a character in Chicago just like he was in Dallas.
But
you ought to check this. You were able to check it. The thing that I heard that he was, and I think it can be verified, that in the early 30s, Ruby was a communist youth group leader in Chicago.
Okay.
In the early 30s, he'd have been quite a young fellow, you know. Now that's on the books. You can find that in Washington. We wouldn't have any records of it around Dallas, but there used to be an outfit called Martin Dye's Un-American Activities Committee of a bunch of congressmen, and he's the one that verified that, the Dye's committee. And he said it was not him. It says Martin Dye said it was. He's got a brother by the same name, a sister by the same name. They said that Jack Ruby from Chicago is one and the same Ruby that was in Dallas.
But
that's in public record.
But about the secret transfer of Oswald, you have never told anyone about it, but me.
Mac Lane?
No, the secret transfer of Oswald at night. when the city manager said not to do that? Do you understand? Because you had to move Oswald in the night at 2 o'clock of the morning.
Yeah, he's Chief Curry came
Yeah.
to me and told me, he said, Sergeant, get one of your best men, and you and I and the other man were going to move Oswald down to the county jail at 2 o'clock some morning, so none of the citizens of Dallas know about it. So I had him moving down there safely.
Okay.
For fear that somebody might try to kill him, you know.
Yes.
But when the city manager and the mayor heard about it, no, you won't do that. No, you're going to call the press and have them notified so that they can be in the basement with the lights and cameras all set up before they move it.
But you have never told anybody about that?
That was the orders given from the mayor. The mayor of Dallas gave those orders, and he was assisted by the city manager, Elgin Cruel.
But you have never told about that to anyone?
Beg your pardon?
You have never told that story to anyone?
Well, I don't know whether I have or not, but that's the true story.
But the Warren Commission does not know anything.
The Warren Commission didn't ask me anything like that.
Yes, but
They didn't. The Warren Commission didn't even talk to me.
No, you
They
had
didn't
not.
talk to me or any of my 4 men around the motorcycle, around the car. They sent some guy down here, I don't know, 6 or 8 months after, or a year or 2 maybe after the killing, and he was asking a few little old questions around, but they didn't really ask us any questions about that deal at all.
But
Jack Lane come up with a bunch of trash. He didn't have, it wasn't his motorcycle radio making that noise at all. It was a 3-wheel motorcycle.
Yes, you told me.
And so he wanted a free trip to Washington for him and his wife, and that's the reason he did it. The government paid for him and his wife to go to Washington.
Have you talked about that to McLean? Have you ever talked to him about that?
I haven't seen him since.
Oh.
I was already retired when he went to Washington.